I have watched them for longer than most can count, long before they had names, before they walked upright or sang beneath the moons. I watched as the parasite crept into the jaws of the beast. I saw the first lures, the first blood, the first partnership drawn in hunger and muck. I watched them change, slowly, violently. I watched them rise from the swamp and stride into the grasslands, not as one creature, but as two, bound not by birthright, but by will. I have seen the wars they waged, the dances they made, the children born from carcass and glory. I have seen them tear each other apart, not for hatred, but for beauty, for ritual, for something we do not yet understand. And now I see what they have become. Not monster, not mistake, not even miracle, just Orc. A creature that taught the world a new way to exist. In the ancient lowlands of Europe, ambush predators waited silently beneath dark waters. The crocodilians, semi-aquatic archosaurs, relied on stillness, camouflage and inertia to strike. But over time these jaws would no longer belong to solitary killers. They would become scaffolders for one of the strangest symbiotic convergences in evolutionary history. This is a story of symbiogenesis, of a parasite that became predator, and the eventual emergence of a sentient chimera, the Orc. The first steps into this transformation began not with violence but with deception. A lineage of soft-bodied scavengers, later termed passenger forms, evolved to exploit the ambush posture of these archosaurs. They positioned themselves inside their host's open jaws, mimicking carrion or distressed prey. These macabre lures drew in opportunists, scavengers expecting an easy meal. Instead, the jaws snapped shut, the predator fed, and so did this parasite. What began as a parasitic intrusion became facultative mutualism. The crocodilian's kill rate improved, the passenger form gained reliable access to meat, and over the generations this mutual reliance intensified. The predator's oral cavity reshaped to accommodate its partner. Meanwhile, the symbiont evolved musculature, contractile tissues with primitive senses. What had once begun as an external organism was now nestled inside the host's anatomy, functioning like a prosthetic tongue, but from an entirely different phylum. This alliance flourished in the swampy, low-oxygen muck of ancient Europe, but as climates changed and the swamplands receded, the ecology shifted. Visibility increased, and the effectiveness of deception collapsed. Faced with this new environment, the symbiont adapted again. No longer a lure, it became a weapon. The host became a foundation, a quadrupedal base, thick-boned and shock-absorbent, optimised for structural support and threat display. It began to favour terrestrial locomotion, broadening its hunting grounds. The passenger form, now fused permanently to its host's head and spinal column, took over cognition and sensory input entirely. Its tissues now hosted complex neural structures. Muscle, once used to twitch and lure, evolved into articulate limbs and facial displays. This was no longer a predator with an altered tongue, it was a symbiont with a body. With full control came competition. Mating rights, territory and social dominance were now settled through ritualized combat. Passenger forms fought with their hosts' bodies as an extension of their own. The largest and most expressive symbionts gained the most mates, not only through victory, but through visual performance. Sexual selection drove hypertrophy in the upper body, exaggerated musculature, vibrant display organs, and facial segments capable of dramatic unfolding. These face fans served both as threat displays and aesthetic expression. Eventually this union became irreversible, as reproduction itself became codependent. In the Proto-Orcs reproductive ritual, two integrated chimeras fought for dominance. The losing symbiont was torn from its host and discarded. The victorious symbiont implanted its genetic material into the host's reproductive tract. There, the host, already inseminated with its own reptilian embryos, synchronized its hormonal cycle with the parasitic eggs. The result was fatal to the host. After gestating the hybrid embryos, its body ruptured in a catastrophic birth. From the carcass emerged fused offspring. fully integrated orcs. The discarded symbiont, though separated, did not die. Its tissues, designed for modular integration, responded to the trauma by generating legs. In a matter of days, it transformed into a new caste, the drone. Drones are infertile descendants of rejected passenger forms. They seek out mature orcs for protection and companionship, and together the orcs and their drones form nomadic hunting clans, fanning across Europe's open plains. These groups exhibit complex hierarchies and seasonal mating structures, often centred around the oldest female-bodied chimera, who may carry up to a dozen fertilised eggs before succumbing to parturition. Today's orcs are the product of obligate chimerism. Their body is dual, their anatomy semi-modular. The upper half, once the parasite, houses the organs of cognition, expression and language. It is a being of muscle, ritual and art. And the lower half, descended from the host, remains a quadrupedal reptilian engine, dense with bone and shock absorbent tissue. Modern orcs display two stable morphologies: the centauroid form, dominant in mating displays and war, and the humanoid drone form, often derived from unsuccessful suitors. These beings are expressive to an extreme. Their faces unfold in arachnid-like fans, blood flushes beneath their translucent skin in vibrant reds and purples, signalling mood, rank and arousal. Combat is performance, victory is theatre. Even peacetime rituals, known as flex-offs, serve as proxies for dominance, artistry and seduction. Orcs are artists as much as they are warriors. Their weapons are canvases, massive spears draped in dyed fabrics, armour sculpted from silhouettes and motion, entire duels choreographed like sacred dances. Their social code is built on display, a natural evolution from a lineage that once mimicked carrion to survive. Yet this complex system is not without its predators. A parasitic fungus, still unnamed, has evolved to infect failed matriarchs. When an orc's reproductive cycle fails to synchronise, or when no suitor arrives, the body becomes fertile ground for fungal takeover. This infection hijacks the reproductive machinery. Instead of eggs, it produces fruiting bodies, pale fibrous clusters bursting from the lower abdomen. Infected orcs become mobile spore carriers, wandering until death, their corpse feeding the next generation of fungal colonies. Some drones too may succumb, becoming fungal scouts, sterile and erratic, seeking to sabotage rival clans by spreading the blight.